What is up, guys? What is up? So the Jeffrey Epstein saga continues again. I'm sorry to make so many videos on it, but I got to talk about what's going on in the news. Also, Bitcoin has its biggest dump so far. A lot of people are losing money on cryptocurrency in general. We're going to talk about that. And then I will also cover more videos on the middle school and high school kids and elementary school kids, honestly, walking out of a class and protesting ICE. So let's get into it, shall we? Boom! All right, so before we start, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell on my YouTube channel at Townsley R, and also follow me on X at Ryan Townsley. So, I guess to start off the Jeffrey Epstein saga, we gotta have to talk about Trump, right? Because Donald Trump is kind of the head of this whole thing. He's the president of the United States. He basically is in charge of, telling what the DOJ and the FBI should do. And obviously Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have blood on their hands as well. But I found this very, very interesting because Donald Trump has been super critical on Republicans that have wanted the Epstein files to come out, like Thomas Massie, for example. But he has some very, very nice things to say about Bill Clinton, who is all over the files. And if you tuned into my episode last time, I showed many, many pictures of Bill Clinton on those islands, including one where he's in the pool with what looks like an underage girl. But let's just listen to what Donald Trump has to say about Bill Clinton, who might be investigated. They subpoenaed the Clintons. Everybody wants the Clintons to go down, but not Trump?
NBC News broke the story today. I don't know if you saw it, that the Democrats are already saying, if you bring President Bill Clinton and he has to testify, we're bringing President Trump. What do you say to that?
I think they might say that, but they've already brought me. See, I've been brought. They had me indicted.
They brought you in, but you didn't talk about Epstein.
Many, many times. Many, many times.
And the president had some surprising thoughts about former President Bill Clinton.
It bothers me that somebody's going after Bill Clinton.
Why? Why would that bother you if the allegations are true? Are presidents above the law?
See, I like Bill Clinton. I still like Bill Clinton.
What do you like about him?
I liked his behavior toward me. I thought he got me. He understood me. He was the one that said very famously that you don't want to run against Trump when there were 18 people. There was 18 people, including me, total. And he kept telling them, you don't want to run against Trump. Run against anyone. Don't run against Trump. And Hillary sort of laughed at him.
Strange. This is very, very strange. Now, here's what's even crazier about this whole thing. So you have tons of Republicans that are defending Trump with the Epstein files, saying that, the Democrats didn't release them when they were in power, and, why aren't they going after Bill Clinton? Well, when Donald Trump talks about it, it's like, I'm friends with Bill Clinton. I don't want him to get investigated. Dude, how is this helping you convince people that you're not part of the files, that you're innocent? If I was innocent, okay, and I was former friends with somebody that was accused with the Epstein stuff, I would say, screw that guy. Investigate him. If he did something wrong, he should be investigated. But Trump is just flat out saying that he shouldn't be investigated and that he was a good guy and they're friends. If you're trying to convince the American people that you aren't a creep, this is the worst thing you could say. And then he put Caroline Leavitt in a tough position because obviously the press was going to ask her about this.
Yesterday, President Trump, in the NBC interview, said that it bothers me that somebody is going after Bill Clinton. That somebody is the House Oversight Chairman, James Comer, a Republican. Why is the president bothered that they're investigating Bill Clinton and his Epstein ties?
Look, I think that the president has respect for the former president of the United States, Bill Clinton. He said yesterday himself they've shared a good relationship, and that's what he was reiterating in that NBC interview.
That's it? That's it? And you could look at her face. She looks uncomfortable. Like when Trump first took office, she had way more confidence. She was like tough, gung-ho, I'm coming after you guys. Like I'm answering every question. Now this is like their kryptonite. This is the Trump administration kryptonite. And what's even more disgusting about this whole thing is the fact that Thomas Massie, a Republican, Trump is going after Thomas Massie more than Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, first of all, Bill Clinton is a Democrat, so that's strike one. Number two, Bill Clinton's all over the Epstein files, strike two. The difference is Thomas Massie is the reason that we have these Epstein files, and he's a Republican. So why is Trump siding with Bill Clinton and going after Thomas Massie? Do you see how the matrix and the narrative is just completely crumbling? Thomas Massie says, the President of the United States called me a moron at the National Prayer Breakfast this morning because I'm still fighting for what he promised the American people. Reduce big spending, Doge, no new wars, end foreign aid, defend 1A, 2A, 4A, pro-life, and expose sex traffickers. And that's the biggest one. If I was in a position of power to take down the most evil sexual predators, traffickers of all time, we're arguing this is the biggest scandal of all time. And I chose, instead of doing that, to attack the people that are trying to go after it. I don't know. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Listen to what he said about Thomas Massie and compare it to what he said about Bill Clinton.
Is an automatic no. No matter what. If we did welfare reform, if we did the greatest thing in history for religion, no matter what we did, no matter how good it is, greatest tax cuts, and we just did the greatest tax cuts in history. He voted against. He voted. Now, no matter what we do, this moron, no matter what it is, we could put them all together. I think, Mike, what would you say the top 5 things? Name them. We'll put them in one bill, and we'll put them before we'll get 100% vote, except for this guy named Thomas Massie. There's something wrong with him. We call him Rand Paul Jr. You know, it's like they just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good.
I don't think he's polling at 9%. I think that's made up because Thomas Massie has tons of support. First of all, he's a true conservative. Why wouldn't you use him as an asset for the midterms? If you try to take him out during the midterms, you might lose that state. I mean, this is insane. And the other thing is like, when Trump says, oh, we can end world hunger, we can solve this, we can solve that, and they'd still vote no, or they'd still come against me. Imagine you have this entire rap sheet where you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, and they're all great things as a president. But then at the end, it's covering up for sex traffickers. It's a huge taint. It's tainting the well. Like, it's just such a black eye on the administration. And the reason I say that is because, let's go through some more files, guys. Let's just go through some of them. Here's one. Guess what? There are N-words. To and from redacted. And you can look at the very bottom here. If you want to go on the DOJ website, there's the code. Gilligan, I didn't get your email. Did you ever talk to Jane? Is everything okay? Can we talk about treasure hunt for girls on the island? We will be there on January 4th. Give me your private phone number. Do you miss me yet? Love, love. And it keeps going, guys. I mean, last night I went through all the files that I had put in my last 2 videos. I had checked them with 3 different AIs in multiple ways of asking. Then after I did that, I also went on the DOJ website and looked to see if all of them are on there, and they're all on there. All of these are on the official governmentjustice.com website, okay? I mean, it goes on. What is this? Famous U.S. skater Tony Hawk reportedly had one of his weddings on Epstein Island. The only way to get off the island was to take naked photos. This is why there are so many photos lying around the house. I mean, how many celebrities have naked photos? Here again, the code is on the bottom so people can look this up if it's real or not. Yeah. If you pause this video and read the whole thing, feel free. But the men were part of an organization that would take naked photos of young girls and used redacted photos where she flew to Ireland for politicians and notable men. They would have sex with young women, and she was taken from Ireland and brought to Jeffrey Epstein Island when she was 13 years old. Redacted reported that she was there when Prince Edward was there and when Tony Hawk got married on the island. Redacted said the only way to get off the island was to take naked photos or pose. That way, there was so many photos lying around the house. Blank said one of the group photos that she is a girl in the white tank top, white purse, and is holding a water bottle. Redacted reports she has photos that can prove that she was on the island and will provide them if necessary. Redacted said that she has reported to multiple FBI offices before, and they would get her information and kick her out. Redacted is currently in Germany and is seeking asylum. This I'm going to have to block out. This is reportedly surveillance footage I encourage you guys to look up. I'll just describe what I'm watching. There's four or five girls in what looks like a bathhouse. And one of the girls has like one of those old like water jugs so that she's filling up like this is ancient Rome and she's gonna fill someone's water with the water jug. Like they're walking around like servants, okay? Here's another one. Disney used to take kids to Epstein Island. So this is the Disney cruise. It looks like an itinerary or some sort. Afterwards, bark your way to your second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island. Guys, Disney was sending kids out there. I mean, this is just getting insane. Here's another one. Again, code on the bottom. Look it up if you don't think it's real. Redacted spoke of this going on at Zorro Ranch. She has said on record that Epstein offered her money to do this. Birth babies for black market use. Thanks for investigating it. From redacted to redacted. Mr. Donald Trump. If I'm somebody that wants this to get out, you're going to go against me. But if I'm somebody that's in the files, you're going to come up and say, oh, it's sad that they're investigating Bill Clinton. This is sick. FBI files contain 2-hour video showing two men inspecting underground tunnels, one wearing an NYPD department shirt. It's unclear that where these tunnels are and if they're the same tunnels Epstein obsessively emailed about for a decade. Yeah, so insane stuff, guys. Insane stuff. Oh, and here's Dan Bongino again. Dan Bongino thinks I'm an anti-Semitic for wanting the truth in the files. Just because I noticed that Jeffrey Epstein was using slurs against non-Jews. Jeffrey Epstein was talking about Mossad, talking about Israel. Because I just noticed that. Oh, to Dan Bongino, I'm anti-Semitic.
Finally, there's a third class of people. The third class of people after October 7th went crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I stand fully, completely, and strongly against anti-Semitic bullshit. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. It's amazing how many people think it's like the current thing to say like they hate the Jews or something. Really? You believe that?
Guys, have I ever said that? No, I don't think that at all.
You realize where that's led throughout human history, absent the immorality of it? Now, you may say, oh, gosh, Dan, I can't believe that that's actually happening. Really? I promise you, go look at the Twitter. If the botting that does happen, and again, it's not all botting. The botting that does happen is very well organized. It is totally synthetic. It is all anti-Jewish nonsense. Read the comments. It's from like, I hate the Jews 101 and stuff. Just look at it. You can see it. It's so clearly fake. But it's an organized movement of people and it's not a very large group of people, who've learned to amplify social media to attack anyone in the administration or outside who doesn't go and attack the Jews. 100%. Look and just read the comments. Don't take my word for it. Just go and look. Go look. You'll see it. It's everywhere. They all have the same goal. It is to dismantle this movement, take it apart from the inside, cause disruption, pick up the pieces, and rebuild it into something far different than a movement that actually can.
Okay. This is completely false. First of all, that takes all accountability away from the administration. Because there are serious concerns with the Israeli government, the Gaza war, and also the Mossad ties to Epstein. Those are like legitimate concerns. And obviously, there's going to be people on the internet that take it to the extreme and start saying they hate the Jews and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that's going to happen. But to just say that you're criticizing the administration for its pro-Israel stance is some like conceived plot to take the administration down from the inside. It kind of sounds like Dan is now being a conspiracy theorist. So Dan's going to come after us for trying to put the Epstein pieces together. But then he's putting these weird pieces together like anti-Semitism is the new rise and it's going to come and destroy the conservative movement. No, what's going to destroy the conservative movement is the actions of the Trump administration. It starts from the Trump administration. If they do something that the base doesn't like, the base is going to criticize it. It's not because the base all of a sudden just wants to take down the administration. It's not because the base is just all of a sudden anti-Semitic. Some of them are. Some people are anti-Semitic. I'm not. I'm just calling out what I'm seeing. I'm calling balls and strikes. But now if you criticize the administration, apparently you're anti-Semitic. If you notice all the Mossad ties in the Epstein files, apparently you're anti-Semitic. It's like Dan Bongino should have just stayed in the FBI and went after these pedophiles. Instead, he wants to come back on his show and like scold all of us, talk down to all of us. It's like Dan Bongino is like the biggest joke in podcasting.
Serves liberty. They all have the same goal. Libs, the anti-Jew crowd, and the Doomers. The exact same goal. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it. Look at the people sending out the messages. Look at who they associate with. Just listen to it. Just read the comments. Read their hand. They don't even hide it.
Dan Bongino was more worried about anti-Semitism on Twitter. He's more worried about that than going after all these accusations that I just read in all these files. All these files. Look, let's just scroll down for a second. It never ends. It never ends, ladies and gentlemen. You know how many bookmarks I've clipped of this shit? You know how many hours I've spent on the DOJ website confirming it's real? What a joke. And then you had the biggest Bitcoin crash. So around since Trump took office, Bitcoin's down 32%, Ethereum's down 30%, XRP down 46%, Solana 60%. Now I have a theory, okay? If you go look at the charts and you match it up with the dates that Donald Trump had announced tariffs, every single dump on each date matches with him talking about new tariffs, and then every single pump reverses that when a tariff gets, gets thrown back or he goes soft on the tariffs, right? Now, my theory on why we are seeing just an annihilation of crypto this whole entire week is I think it also has something to do with the Epstein files, because I think that when Donald Trump ran, he got all the crypto bros and libertarians to support him. And now we're in a situation where 1 year into his presidency, we saw nothing but a bear market. And then on top of it, these Epstein files come out. So now, on top of the bear market, I think the crypto bros feel like, okay, we have no hope unless the Supreme Court takes the tariffs off. And also, if Donald Trump is part of this entire sex ring operation, then I think that people with that combined, with the Epstein stuff and the tariffs combined, plus the 4-year cycle never happened in 2025, all of that is just ultimate FUD, where a lot of the crypto holders and the whales might think, okay, we got to wait until Donald Trump's not president anymore before we start buying. Because we might go into a massive crypto winter. I hope I'm wrong, right? I'm not selling. I'm not selling because I'm holding for decades and decades and decades. I'm holding for the long run. This is just a short-term thing. But I guarantee you the only thing that's going to pump the market is if the Supreme Court gets rid of the tariffs. Other than that, I think we're in for a long crypto winter, you know? And then I also just want to cover this stuff. Okay, so middle schoolers in Utah staged a walkout to protest ICE. They threw stuff at cars, vandalized buses, and protested through stores. Schools are turning your kids into leftist activists. And this isn't only happening in Utah. It's happening in Florida. It's happening in California. It's happening in Oregon. It's happening all over the United States. And you've seen me cover the Minnesota saga. I support ICE. Yes. But when Donald Trump drops the ball so bad on these Epstein files, this just gives these kids more ammo to go out there and protest, to disrespect the government and disrespect the status quo. Because you know these middle school kids are on the internet. You know these middle school and high school kids are on their phones reading about the Epstein files. If you're a middle school kid, let's say born in 2010 or whatever, 2012. If you're born in 2012, all you know is the end of, you don't even know Obama's term. You just know Trump, Biden, Trump, if you're in middle school, right? So these kids will never have respect for any sort of authority after the total breakdown that is the Epstein files. Let's just watch this 3-minute video.
Jathan.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate.
I see you, Freddie.
I see it.
Hey, get out of the fucking road. Bro. Qué lindo, la puta madre. Ya cuántas personas. Ya cuántas personas.
You guys get the point. You guys get the point. I mean, let's see. There is another one that I saw. Yep, here's in San Francisco. These are like elementary school kids right here.
Choose kindness! 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 Choose kindness!
Guys, we are at a breaking point right now. I don't know, man. This is just sick. You know, these kids, they should be in school learning about math, reading, writing, but according to these leftist teachers and school board districts, it's more important to protest ICE. And Donald Trump is not able to... He has lost the trust of people with these Epstein files, so now everybody feels like they can just disrespect the United States. Tough times, guys. Tough times. All you can do is pray. You know, get together with your families. Think positively. It's dark time. Dark time. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell on my YouTube channel at TownsleyR, at TOWNSLEYR, and also follow me on X at Ryan Townsley, at RyanTownslay. Right there. I'm slowly growing, and we'll see what happens. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.